Hello there members, Adam here. Of course you know Christine. You may have noticed that some of the bunkers are a little bit moist or compacted out on the golf course. The idea is that they want to get it firm enough that the balls aren't plugging too often. So I'm going to show you a few thoughts on how to get out of those firm lies. And
every once in a while though, you're still going to have one of those fluffier lies that you come across. Now I'm going to show you how to tackle those.
Hope this is helpful to you. Okay, when you have more compacted, firm sand, maybe a little bit damp, it's a little more difficult to penetrate it, and of course you've got to get the leading edge of the club below the ball to have a successful standard bunker shot. So there's two variables I would want you to play around with in order to help you do this. Number one, square the club face up a little bit. When the club face is more square, the front edge of the club is a little bit sharper. You can play around with this to suit yourself. Certainly you'll lose a little effective loft, but it is far easier to penetrate a tight surface with a little more sharpness of the front edge. Very difficult when you open the face way up and you have a lot of bounce. The second one, you've just got to apply pressure to the sand more. So think of, say, a hardwood floor. If I had to push against it, I'd push the handle forward more. I could even bend the shaft a little bit. Now, I'm not saying you have to hit a full-fledged punch shot with the hands way forward, but I am saying if you get too much release and splash the club too much, it's going to skip off that sand and into the ball. So square the club a little bit and feel like you can lead a little more with the handle, and you can apply pressure a little more effectively against the sand. It's no more difficult than that. You just have to experiment a little bit, and with those two variables I'm sure you can do it. One other variable you could use, but I'm not going to recommend, is coming down on a little bit steeper angle. This doesn't dig as much as this, but I wouldn't go for that variable unless maybe the ball's really plugged and you have to get a super deep divot. Okay, quickly let me give you an example. So I'm going to set my weight a little bit to the left, club face slightly open but more square than I would normally have it. One final tip: when you're trying to apply pressure to the sand and keep the hands a bit more forward, unless it's a really long bunker shot, you should swing firmly but have a fairly short finish. Big high finish is more indicative of scooping the ball a little bit. So let's give it a try. Down there, that ensures I'm applying pressure to the sand through the shot.
Alright, hi everyone. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the fluffy lies that we're hoping you're not getting, but may still come across every once in a while. So in this instance, we're going to want to use a little bit more of that bounce. So we're going to want to open up that face a little bit. The sand is a bit heavier, a bit fluffier, and a little bit too much of that leading edge in that square face is just going to hit down into that sand and dig a little bit too much. Probably going to get the result that stays in the bunker more often than you like it to. So big thing you want to do here, you want to open up that face, expose that bounce, expose all those grooves there. Big full swing, so weight slightly on that front foot. Get a big full swing, good hinge in those wrists there, and blast through. All of your momentum moving forward. A lot of what we tend to see is sort of releasing those hands a bit early, trying to help it up in the air. We don't really want to see that. Your momentum is what's going to carry your ball up and out of this bunker. So we want hips, knees, shoulders, everything moving forward. So just to give you a little bit of an example of those fluffy lies, so like we said, we do want that face nice and open, exposing that bounce, using all those grooves. So I'm going to put it a little bit more towards the front of my stance. Good solid base. I like to kind of sit into it a little bit, make sure, we're on this uneven fluffy surface. Want to make sure that we're nice and solid through there, making sure that my face is open, weight slightly on my front leg. I'm going to leave that there through the whole swing, and just like we said, we're going to make sure that we get all the way through this shot, leaving those grooves nice and exposed, so we're having that bounce sort of glide through that sand a little bit, not create as much resistance. Hopefully that helps.
Well, I hope that was helpful for you. Listen, it's still a game of a stick and a ball plus sand. In this case, you have to play around with it a little bit, get a feel for what you want, get a feel for what works for you in the different situations, but I hope these variables help you sort that out.
Yes, hopefully we were able to help you out a little bit today, and if you have any further questions on it, please contact Adam or myself right here at the club.
Thanks.